Thank you, Evan, for allowing me to stand awkwardly behind you. Hi, everyone. I can't understand why people are frightened by new ideas. I'm frightened by the old ones. That is a quote, though I wish I'd made it up, from John Cage, whose centenary is this very day. In addition to being one of the leading experts on mushrooms, and perhaps the most influential composer of the 20th century, John Cage always enthralled me because he seemed to consistently pursue whatever was most foreign from his received paradigms. In fact, John Cage's father, John Milton Cage Sr., an inventor of some very silly things, is said to have taught his son that, quote, if someone says can't, that shows you what to do. Let us now take 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence to honor this great man's legacy. Okay, I'm kidding. Happy birthday, John Cage! The theme of this convocation, obviously, is entrepreneurship. That means creating integrated technologies and modes in order to further innovation. It means taking risks and experimenting and pushing boundaries. It means being willing, creative, flexible, and resourceful. We're all pretty lucky because we happen to be born into this generation where things like Wikipedia and iPhones are just fluid parts of our lives. It's our responsibility, though, to use these inventions and machines to teach ourselves, to teach each other, and to teach our teachers. Learning happens through exchange and collaboration, and it's inside of this where we have the opportunity to engage the knowledge and machines of the new world in order to make the new world our world. Schools are fundamentally hierarchical, and new media, like the internet, is pushing towards the horizontal. You are here to push horizontalism in the vertical structure and make new shapes. In our work over the last week, we've brought the typically vertical order of this school, where practice rooms for musicians are on the 4th floor, dance and drama studios on the 3rd floor, and theory and liberal arts on the 5th floor, to the horizontal plane. We've collided all these things in one room to see what happens. Most experiences in this school focus on perfecting your craft, and do not get me wrong, this is crucial. But to quote our great Dean Ara Guzalimian, we are now expected to go further and to take our own destinies. There's a great educator, Jack Mesereau, who invented this idea of transformative learning theory. It's basically about how everyone possesses the ability to break free from their situation and transform their life. It's about learning things in the core of oneself. And he calls the first step of any good learning the disorienting dilemma, which causes you to feel confused, a complete lack of right or wrong. It destroys your current paradigm and shakes you to your core. It makes you scared and overwhelmed and sometimes really angry. And like dealing with grief, you try to make some deals with yourself so you can still have the knowledge that you've encountered, but fit it into the container of your old paradigm. But this doesn't work. It explodes the container. And that puts you on the path towards new understanding. And this is what we're after. You can't force these kinds of experiences, but you can create conditions where it's likely to occur. And you should. It's exciting. Have you ever met someone who blows your mind like that? Maybe they're sitting next to you. Today, the ability of the arts to innovate is restricted by barriers inside each discipline and within the greater arts world. Barriers that produce limited knowledge and incremental innovation. Collaborative and interdisciplinary work overcomes these barriers so that shared knowledge can drive sustained innovation and significant contribution across all artistic networks and fields. The problems of our world heed no boundaries, so we need to work across them to find new solutions and to make opportunities for ourselves. It is the absolute imperative of our generation, and it is your imperative now, to take advantage of the abundance of resources at Juilliard, to work together and outside of your discipline, to experiment and to create. Make us rethink what was always the aesthetics of the musical concert or the play or a dance performance. You can't get it right all the time, and you won't get it right all the time, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes you can overreach and sometimes you can underreach, but you have to do it. Juilliard is a playground, a sandbox, a laboratory, a petri dish, if you want it to be, for exactly this kind of experimenting, because the resources are here. They're sitting next to you. And because it is safe, you are safe. So anticipating the future environment of the arts, the work you are about to see realizes a strategy for making a new mixed form between disciplines. Through this work, we have discovered a collaborative community within which we can freely share in the creation of new work and new knowledge. Talk to the people involved. It has been awesome and pretty transformational. And it has been made essentially over the last 6 days, I'll repeat that. It's been made essentially over the last 6 days in Studio 322 with a cast spanning over 15 years of age and including 13 historical performance musicians, which, by the way, represents half of that entire division. 3 dancers, 2 actors, and a wonderful group of a dozen or so friends, faculty, and assorted people off the street who came into rehearsal. We've also borrowed 2 lights from the drama division studios, 4 extension cords from the dance division, thank you, Keith, 2 lights on wheels, 1 lamp from props, and 4 microphones. That's it. All lights turning on and off are being plugged in and unplugged in the wings by our colleague Daniel James. All text that is being used in the performance, Evan Fine miraculously translated somehow from the original 17th century French score of Jean-Baptiste Lully's Achilles and Polyxena, which, by the way, has not been staged for over 300 years. We also borrowed some costumes from the costume shop, thank you, Marion and Luke. The music is straight from 1687. And also straight from Leo Bartussek from 3 weeks ago. Marcus Crawford Guy, who is dancing with Ariel Friedman, has never danced before in his life. And he is, in fact, a third-year actor. That is the stuff. Thank you, President Polisi, Dean Guzalimian, Barely Nugent, and all the production personnel who made this possible. A special word for Barely Nugent, who not only led me back to this school and its possibilities when I left halfway through my sophomore year, but very importantly, offered me and Daniel the opportunity to make a piece for Chamberfest last January, which was the seed of what you're about to see and set me on my path well into the future. She is, among others, a great ally for this kind of work. Seek her out when you want to pursue a project like this. I hope that you enjoy this, and I hope that it makes you think.